Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripasindubheva patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, great devotees. Good morning to everybody. Good afternoon or evening if you're somewhere else. Today, we're going to invoke the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Vṛṣākapi. Vṛṣākapi means that when the devotees remember the Lord, He's inclined to shower them with benedictions, to satisfy their desires, and to remove all miseries. That is the nature of Krishna, whose name we're repeating. We'll start with the Bhuta Shuddhi as a meditation on what's most important in life, which is beyond just taking care of body-mind. I'm by nature the eternal servant of Krishna, but by misfortune due to being inimical towards him since time immemorial, I have been wandering within the cycle of birth and death in the material world, being burnt by the threefold miseries. Now, as a result of some unimaginable good fortune, by the mercy of my spiritual master, I know that I am an infinitesimal living being, completely apart from the gross and subtle body. Now, by the order of my spiritual master, I have obtained the good fortune of serving his lotus feet as well as the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan. Now praying for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva, we begin with the Panchatattva Mahāmantra and then take shelter of Vṛṣākapi, who's all merciful. And the means of doing this is simply to hear the name of Krishna attentively as we chant it. Remember that all the great acharyas, including Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chant the Mahāmantra and give it primary importance in the practice of devotional service. Everybody ready? Fantastic. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare. You're doing great, everybody. Keep going. And remember, Vṛṣākapi. It's a name of Krishna. It means when the devotees choose to think of Krishna, Krishna becomes inclined towards such a devotee, showers his benedictions, satisfies his or her desires, and removes all miseries. If the atheistic mind tells you there's somewhere better to be or this is boring, don't believe him, just believe the śāstra, that everything comes from our relationship with Krishna. We're part and parcel of Krishna, and just take full shelter of the Mahāmantra and keep going. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Pay close attention to the syllables and be aware if you're chanting or not. If you're not aware that you're chanting, your mind's not on the mantra. So be aware that you're chanting and listen to the syllables. Krishna's all good. His name's perfect. He's non-different from his name. Just stay focused. Now we have time for some reflections, realizations. And we'll start with Devanshi.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Devanshi.
I was reflecting on the point where you said in the middle that please focus on the sound of the Mahāmantra. And I was reading, just this morning, I was reading this Madhuram Madhurebhyopi Kevalashtakam by Nilakanta Goswami. And in that, there's a verse called Aho Dukkham Mahadukham Dukkha Dukkha Taram Yata Kathar Chatam Vishmitam Ratna Harer Nama Eva Kevalam. It means, Aho, what a sorrow, what a great sorrow, more painful than any other misery in the world. Mistaking it as a mere piece of glass, the people have forgotten this jewel. The holy name of Sri Hari alone is everything. So I was just reflecting on it that sometimes we tend to forget how valuable Harinam is and the holy name, and just very grateful that I'm having the opportunity to chant.
Way to go, Devanshi. Nicely done. Now we'll hear from Ashta.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Ashta.
thank you for the opportunity to speak. Yeah, I was kind of like reflecting something very similar while I was chanting, like how fortunate is it to, like just have that chance to like start my morning with the holy name. Like there are so many people who start with 50 different things. Some have to rush to work and they have like so much stress, but like Krishna gives me the chance to, start early morning with his name. So I think it's a very rare opportunity when I compare, like, I try to compare the lives of, those who are like really into uh, their schedules, their schools, and I'm like, even just like Krishna giving me the courage to wake up and chant every morning, I think I'm really grateful for that because I don't know like how I would pursue my day without that or like what I would be doing if not this. So yeah, it's always nice to join the group japa, especially like Wednesdays. They're my favorite. So thank you so much for hosting it.
Nicely stated, Ashta. Can't take it for granted. Shastra Sarprada.
Hare Krishna. Um, I had a little bit of a blank mind today when chanting. It wasn't it wasn't very focused, but at the same time it wasn't super distracted. But reminding myself that I was chanting and reminding myself of the meaning of Harinam really helped. And having that in the background as I listened to the syllables was was very nice. And hopefully I can remember to do that again when my mind goes blank.
Many
Hare
stages of the mind, and we go on chanting despite them and keep coming back to the Mahamantra. Nicely done, Shastra Sarprada. Thank you for your sharing your experience. Maitali, you've been on a journey. It's amazing. We watched you traveling through the upper planetary systems, and now I'm not sure where you are. But what was your experience this morning?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I was thinking about, I was trying to focus on my rounds because I was at home and then I was in the car and then I'm at my mom's work. So I was just thinking about how I I was focusing so much better at my house rather than when I'm like traveling everywhere, and how I should like focus my mind, try my best to focus my mind and not get distracted even while like traveling everywhere.
I noticed that. I was impressed.
Yeah.
You kept the camera on, you kept chanting. Nicely done. Dhruv, how's things? How was your chanting, despite the fact you got a very busy life, so many things going on? How was your session this morning?
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. This morning I was thinking about the śāstra, which had come up in conversation with one of my kirtan teachers recently, and how in the second verse of śāstra Mahaprabhu is saying Krishna allows mercy flows in terms of Krishna's kindness to give us the holy name, but the attraction is not there. And then when you also in the middle of the japa brought up the piece of benediction, Krishna is giving everything, but we have to be aware So I was trying to really make that the meditation of this morning's japa and trying to develop a micro drop of attraction for the holy name.
Oh, even a micro drop is an ocean. Nicely done, Dhruv. Thank you very much for sharing. And now we'll ask Anvesh. Anvesh Krishna.
Hare
You're in
Krishna.
the Brahman. How was chanting from the Brahman effulgence?
Oh, it's just a light. Oh, so I was just reflecting on the verse. I think it's from Harinam Chintamani. I'm not sure where it's from, but it's like Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Bhinnatvam Nama Naminaho. I was like really like wonderstruck with that verse because it's like the holy name is a Vigraha, which means you can worship it. And that's what Srila Gaura Kishore Dasa Babaji Maharaj used to do. So it was like really nice reflecting on that you have a personal relationship with the holy name. And I was also really interesting to think about choosing to focus on the holy name rather than just being distracted by random thoughts. Like you said last week, like you have to choose to be focused on the holy name. Yeah, that's what I was reflecting on.
Wow. Anvesh, you're well spoken. Well read too, obviously. Garima, how have you been? What's your experience chanting this morning?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my experience chanting was really wonderful. My reflection is that how you were saying during the japa that we should like pay attention and chanting because like often I was getting really distracted. So like I was trying to pay attention to chanting and like you were like really bringing it up that we should like pay attention more to chanting and not get distracted.
Yeah, and it's interesting the phrase pay attention. It's like you pay something. You're you're giving the most valuable asset you have is your attention. That's our main asset that we have to give anyone. And when we give it to Krishna, that's love. Nicely put, Garima. Nitai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I was just looking out the window and I was thinking about how powerful Krishna is. And since the holy name is non-different from Krishna, like that also means the holy name is really powerful, but it also is more merciful than Krishna because anyone can say it. And so in one sense, we're maybe even more lucky in this yuga than we were in the previous yugas. And I was just trying to meditate on how fortunate we are and trying to take advantage of the opportunity.
Nitai, you've been listening to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas for sure and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Nice, subtle point. Very nice. Nimai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
So
Krishna.
while I was chanting, I was reflecting on the point you said, how we should devote our minds to the holy name in Krishna instead of the atheists. And the atheistic mind will always say, you don't have enough, you need more, and this is what you need. And then when you get that, you need something else. But when you chant it, once you develop love for Krishna, you have achieved the ultimate goal, and there's nothing more. There's nothing that you need to hanker for, because you're fully satisfied. And yeah, I was just reflecting on that while I was chanting.
It's a really important point because the mind wants to go shopping everywhere in the universe. It's been doing it since the time immemorial. But when we come to the realization, even intellectually, that there's nothing else to be had in the 14 worlds except the holy name, then we can stay put and say, I don't have to go shopping. No Amazon Prime necessary. Only here, everything's available in this one place. Okay, Janushan, for the close, you get the last word today.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, so we were focusing on how a lot of times we think we're making a lot of progress in our spiritual journeys, in our devotion, and Maya always comes back like a wave, just takes over, and it's often that we give in to this urge. But if we truly have faith in Krishna, if we truly have faith that the holy name is not only is Krishna and is also cleansing of the mind, then taken to this process and keeping consistent with it will only lead us to better and better in our spiritual journeys.
Well, you definitely didn't give in to Maya today. You showed up for this. And that goes for everybody that's on this call today. I'm really impressed. It's a very difficult thing to do, to take your morning whole preparation is just to get on the call so you can chant. And then you have to hold in one place and because you're on the call and so forth. So there's a very high level that you're all at. And please keep doing it because just with little practice, that's micro, what did you call it, Drew?
Micro drop of attraction.
If you get a micro drop of attraction, your life will become perfect. A micro drop. So it's worth showing up every single day. Here in California, during the gold rush, people came here. They wanted to just see one little speck of gold, and then they knew there was a gold mine somewhere nearby. And the same thing, if you can get that micro drop, then your mind becomes convinced that there's nothing else to be had, and you want to taste it more and more. So thank you very much for your dedication. It was a very important session. Thank you to Yogadish Prabhu for being such a stalwart and steadily keeping this program going, along with the others who are helping to organize it. And we'll end with a prayer to Vṛṣākapi. I started by talking about Vṛṣākapi. That's a name for Krishna, which means that for those who remember Krishna, he's inclined to shower all benedictions, to satisfy their desires, and to remove all their miseries. Dear Vṛṣākapi, if you so desire, please make your lotus feet our sole object of attention, or rather, please make your holy name our sole object of attention. And please let us follow in the footsteps of all the great acharyas who chanted your holy names. Please let us be steadily engaged in this process. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Premanande Haribo. Okay, do good for others today. Be a humble servant and be kind to all living beings. Hare Krishna. Haribol.